forget about it. Hey guys, what's up? It's Sam. Look, hope you had a great weekend and got out and enjoyed all the sun and everything. Something very exciting. I have the brand new trailer in front of me here for The Many Saints of Newark, the much anticipated film tie-in to the Sopranos TV series, directed by Alan Taylor and of course written by Sopranos creator and scribe David Chase. This is a film I've been really excited for. This is about, you know, the Mafia, the DiMeo crew, the DiMeo Sopranos crew in its heyday, you know, when they ran the city of Newark, New Jersey, late 1960s, early 1970s. Its trailer I've been really looking forward to, you know, dressed up, dressed to the nines, ties notched, all perfect. I am really excited for this trailer. I have it in front of me, really been keen to check it out. So here we go, The Many Saints of Newark, and I think we're going to be in for something very, very special with this one. So here we go, and yeah, let's do it.
When I was a kid, guys like me were brought up to follow codes.
Young Tony.
Hey, jerk off. What'd you say? What?
Oh yeah.
Antonio Soprano.
I wonder if I can talk to you alone for a moment, Mrs. Soprano.
Oh, there's Livia. Vera Farmiga is Livia.
On the basis of the Sanford Binet, he's high IQ.
You can't prove it by me. He's got a D+ average.
Well, he doesn't apply himself, but he is smart. The results tell us. He's a leader.
Ankle Dick.
Oh, Dickie.
Growing up with the family
Century Alex.
takes a toll.
Maybe an ambassador to England or France.
You're my nephew.
Might like to gamble.
I want to do whatever I can to help you.
Maybe a businessman.
My gift to you.
Degree thing.
Oh, there's Paulie.
I want to go to college. I can't get caught with shit like this.
Look, you take the speakers, right? At the same time, you say to yourself, this is the last time I'm ever going to steal something. It's that simple.
Let me go talk to him.
He only listens to Dickie.
Gotta do something about Dickie Moltisanti.
Maybe some of the things you do aren't God's favorite.
Oh, there's Tony and Silvio.
You lead by example. Well, that's the right decision. This kid's got what it takes.
As far as your nephew goes,
I'm listening.
stay out of his life.
Ray Liotta. Got this one. Oh, now that does look very gnarly indeed, guys. So there we go, the first trailer for The Many Saints of Newark. Gonna say it, absolutely loving that trailer. This is pure mob class in every sense of the word. This is a pure mob movie. Really loving it. You know, I see this movie, I see, you know, the successor to films like, you know, Goodfellas and Casino, my favorite mob film of all time, Casino, directed by Martin Scorsese. You know, Donnie Brasco, and now we get to, you know, The Many Saints of Newark, and yeah, that trailer, just awesome. Absolutely loving it. That trailer is just fantastic on every single level. I absolutely love that. And yeah, it's intense, man. It's an intense watch. So obviously, let's break it down. So The Many Saints of Newark is, you know, about the DiMeo crew, formerly, you know, as we know them, the DiMeo Soprano crew. But back in the late 60s, early 1970s, the DiMeo crew, based out of Newark, New Jersey, who are coming into contact and conflict with a rising, you know, black African-American gang culture, and for basically who controls the city. And right in the middle of it is, you know, the protagonist, Dickie Moltisanti, played by Alessandro Nivola, who is a, you know, a rising, you know, soldier in the DiMeo crew, a really capable and violent man. He's also the father of Christopher Moltisanti, who is the nephew of Tony Soprano, and here he's the uncle to a young Tony Soprano, who's played by Michael Gandolfini, who is of course the son of the late great James Gandolfini. And of course you can see a reference here to to a older Tony to a younger Tony, and of course, you know, father and son. Of course, you can see the age growth of older and young Tony, and from what I saw in the trailer, absolutely love what Michael Gandolfini did here. But yeah, and you know, we're in the heart of it, we're in the action. This is the glory days of the Mafia. This is before the 1980s, before Rico, before drugs. Like, this is when they're in their heyday, and of course it's set in the middle of the Newark riots and sort of the late 1960s, early 1970s, and it's going to be an intense watch, man. And you know, of course, the story is about Dickie Moltisanti and it's his story. You know, Tony is going to be part of it, but you know, David Chase has confirmed this is not a Tony Soprano origin story. It's really about Dickie, and you know, Tony factors into that, and how Dickie sort of encourages his nephew to join the Mafia and become, you know, a soldier later on in life. And of course, we know the history of how Tony got into the Mafia and everything.
I want to go to college. I can't get caught with shit like this.
Look, you take the speakers, right? At the same time, you say to yourself, this is the last time I'm ever gonna steal something. It's that simple.
Again, the trailer doesn't give a lot away about the narrative, which I think is really cool. You know, we're going to have to discover it, which I think is really exciting. But I'm just loving this trailer. Just mob cool on every single level. You know, it's slick, it's sexy, it's just cool, man. It looks like a really cool, you know, edgy, violent Mafia movie, and something you're going to want to see on the big screen. You know, everyone loves a mob movie. It's a chance to, you know, to dress up, to, you know, put a suit on, put a tie on, grab a whiskey and just sit back and enjoy it. And that's definitely what we're going to get with this movie here. So I'm absolutely loving the trailer. Alessandro Nivola as Dickie Moltisanti, he really makes an impression in the trailer. You know, he's been a sort of a bit part actor for a long time. He's had a long career in Hollywood, but you know, he's really stepping up to the plate here with the serious lead role here as Dickie Moltisanti, and he really, you know, he talks the talk and walks the walk as a made man. You know, he definitely has it down as a cold-hearted Mafia killer. You know, he's a dedicated soldier for the DiMeo crew. He's got a mean streak. He's got a violent streak. I mean, this clip here, you know, he's going to take power drill to some kind of guy who's fallen wrong with him. So, you know, he's a bad dude, and you know, he's also, you know, he's a family man. He's a complicated character as Dickie, and you know, just like his son Christopher is very complicated as well, and especially Tony. And you know, he is Tony's role model. He's his idol. And of course, as we see in the trailer, we see a young Tony Soprano played by Michael Gandolfini, who looks up to Dickie and, you know, wants to emulate him. And you know, he's his uncle. He's the guy he looks up to, and you know, we see that moving forward, and it's just really interesting to see that sort of come together, and see the interaction between these two. And I'm really interested to see the relationship between Dickie and Tony, and just what happens to these two characters in the story. Of course, we're going to see Tony grow up. We're not going to see his rise, because it's of course not a Tony origin movie, but we are going to see the choices that sort of lead him down the path to becoming, you know, the mob boss of the DiMeo Soprano crew. And I'm really excited to see how Michael Gandolfini sort of becomes the young Tony, and sort of progresses forward to becoming the character we of course know from the show. Another big part of the trailer that really intrigues me, and that I'm really excited about for this movie, is of course we're going to meet a younger version of Giovanni, Johnny Boy Soprano, and of course Livia Soprano, played here by Jon Bernthal and Vera Farmiga, you know, the parents to Tony Soprano, and you know, who had a very big influence on his upbringing. And in terms of casting, you don't get much better there than Jon Bernthal and Vera Farmiga. They're both incredibly capable actors, and together I think we're going to see a lot of fireworks coming from these two characters. Of course, they had a very volatile relationship, as reported by Tony in his, you know, dealings with Dr. Jennifer Melfi. You know, he talks a lot about his mother, talks a lot about his father, and their volatile relationship, and I'm sure we're going to see this here. Of course, seeing Jon Bernthal as, you know, Johnny Boy is really exciting. I've always wanted to see him in a mob movie, and he's just the perfect character for this. I think it's going to be another great role for Jon Bernthal. And of course, Vera Farmiga, you know, she's got a very big part in the trailer.
I wonder if I can talk to you alone for a moment, Mrs. Soprano. On the basis of the Sanford Binet, he's high IQ.
You can't prove it by me. He's got a D+ average.
Well, he doesn't apply himself, but he is smart. The results tell us. He's a leader.
You can obviously see she's just nailed Livia perfectly. You know, she's got a lot of contempt for her son. She's got a lot of contempt for her husband, and you know, she's going to be a volatile character. So very excited to see a younger Livia here. Of course, Corrado Jr. Soprano is also in the movie, played by Stoll, and we're going to see his relationship with the young Tony. And of course, you know, Jr. was one of the best characters in the TV show, and I think it's going to be interesting to see him played by Stoll, and where he fits in with a younger sort of Mafia in their glory days, along with Johnny Boy. Boy, and I'm really excited to see Stoll and Jon Bernthal together as Junior and Johnny Boy, and to see them sort of making their way up the food chain in the DiMeo organization. I think we're going to see Johnny Boy here as a capo, and with his role in the family, and just I'm really excited to see this mob world come to life with the DiMeo crew in the Many Saints of Newark. I think it's going to be really interesting. Of course, one of the biggest things I have to talk about with this trailer is they have a reference to my favorite character from The Sopranos of all time, who is of course Paulie Walnuts Gualtieri, played by the legendary Tony Soprano in the TV series, and who will be played in the show by Billy Magnussen. I'm really excited to see a younger Paulie in the show. Of course, this is a younger Paulie who's made his bones and who's a rising soldier in the DiMeo crew. Paulie was my favorite character of all time. He's just this cartoonish, outlandish character. He was a sociopath, and but he was this sort of, he was this quirky sociopath, and there were all these quirks. He was a germaphobe. He couldn't touch his hair. And he just had his, his religious beliefs, and his repetitiveness, and his just being a germaphobe and everything. And I'm really excited to see a younger Paulie, who's probably going to be a slightly unhinged character, aggressively violent, and I just want to see young Paulie. And I think Billy Magnussen is an unexpected choice. He's not who I would have thought for a younger Paulie, but I'm excited he's been cast as a young Paulie, and I'm really excited to see Paulie in his younger years, because he is my favourite character on The Sopranos. I love Paulie, and just really excited to see him in the show, and to see his relationship both to Dickie Moltisanti along with Johnny Boy, and of course maybe to Tony as well, and to see sort of how Tony reacts and relates to Paulie as well. So I think it's going to be really interesting, and I can't wait to see Paulie. So yeah, really excited. All in all, the Many Saints of Newark, this looks like such a cool trailer, just a class. This is going to be a classic mob movie. I'm really excited. David Chase, just, he's on his A game here. It's something to be really, really excited about. And I think, fans are going to be in for a real ride with the Many Saints of Newark. So I cannot wait to see it. It looks awesome. Just, classic mob cool. And yeah, something that I'm really looking forward to. So I'm really excited for this movie and can't wait to see more.
Maybe some of the things you do aren't God's favorite.
You lead by example. We'll make the right decision. This kid's got what it takes.
As far as your nephew goes,
I'm listening.
stay out of his life.
So guys, there you go. There's my full reaction for the Many Saints of Newark. As you can tell, I'm totally pumped for this movie. I'm going to be there opening night, full suit on, tie notched, with a glass of whiskey in my hand. I cannot wait to see this film. It looks awesome. I mean, an incredible cast. Alessandro Nivola, Michael Gandolfini, Jon Bernthal, Vera Farmiga, Stoll. Doesn't get much better than that. So really excited to see this film. Of course, David Chase is leading it. His script is guiding the series. So we're going to get a true vision of this film, of the Many Saints of Newark. And I'm just ready for some mob cool, man. It's been a while since we've had a proper mob movie in cinemas. And, I'm really excited by it. So, definitely excited for this one. I think it's going to be awesome. I mean, The Sopranos is one of my all-time favorite television shows of all time. So I just can't wait to see the Many Saints of Newark. And, not long to go now. It's going to be in theaters on November 11th, and really excited for this. And of course, please let me know what you think of the trailer below. Leave me a comment. Would love to talk about this trailer and this movie some more. Of course, you can hit me up at SpicyPulp.com or find me on Instagram and Facebook at SpicyPulp. Really easy to find me. Always willing to talk movies and TV. So let's get in there and talk Sopranos and the Many Saints of Newark. And of course, I'll talk to you next time.